Hey y'all, it's me Marty. I make a little video here and talk to you a little bit about woodworking. So this is going to be another video in my series Quick Tips, Marty's Quick Tips, and this is the third one in the series. And you know from the first two that they're not very quick. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to start doing just a few videos of just my personal tips on just some things I know a little bit about, and some things that I'm just learning too. I'm going to do some on that too, and so it is 10 quick tips, but I just ramble on each one for a little bit. So my first one that I did in this series of quick tips, what was it? Oh, scroll sawing. Yep. And then the next one was truck driving, getting into truck driving. And now the third one's going to be woodworking in general. Just if maybe you want to start woodworking. And while I'm talking, I'm not in my shop at home. I'm in my truck. I'm actually in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Going to unload in the morning and then head home. At least for a few days, maybe a whole week. I'm not sure if I'm going to go out over the 4th or not. Anyway, while I'm chatting about woodworking, I'm going to do a little woodworking. The only kind of woodworking I can really do in my truck is spoon carving. And I have some spoons here, pre-cut on the scroll saw. And yeah, I'm just going to do some carving while I'm talking. Okay, so woodworking. So you want to be a woodworker. So the first thing I do when I carve, okay, I'll just real quick, I know it's not about spoon carving, but just real quick how I carve spoons. So I'll take a log, and you know, and I do carve spoons out of lumber also, you know, milled boards, but most of the time I do it out of branches, off of trees, down trees or whatever in our yard and places. So I'll take a log and I'll cut it about 8-10 inches long, and I want it about 3 to 4 inches wide, the log, the diameter of the log, and then I'll stand it on end on a stump. I have a stump on my porch of my shop, and that's where I do the splitting. It's just kind of fun splitting wood with my machete or hatchet or whatever, and for firewood and for spoons. So I'll put the log on top of there, and I have a little stool out there. I sit there, and I'll put the machete or the hatchet out, whatever I'm doing, and I'll split it. I'll split it in the sides off so they're square, and then I'll split a piece on each side. So I usually get like 2 to 4 spoons out of every log. So then I'll have some flat logs to work with. Then I'll draw on there the spoon. I have some patterns of spoons. I've showed you that before. And I'll draw the spoon I want to make on it. And then I'll go to my scroll saw. I use my scroll saw to pre-cut them. I know that you could just do it all by hand. I have a scroll saw. I have a scroll saw. I'm going to use it. So I use my scroll saw to pre-cut my spoons. And that's what they look like after they're cut on the scroll saw. And but they still have to be carved. They're cut, the basic shape, but now I got to carve them. So that's what I'll do with my scroll saw. I'll cut them like that, and if it's thick enough, I'll put it on end. I'll put the board on end, or the log or whatever, and I'll resaw and get 2 spoons out of it. So it's kind of neat. And now I do the carving. So this is a hook knife. I think it's a Mora. Yeah, I think it's a Mora hook knife. And I'll do the bowl part. You need a hook knife to do the bowl part. And then I have a Mora, just a regular Mora. I love the Mora knives. They're so cheap, and they're just, yeah, they're great knives. This is the original knife I got like 3 years ago, and I've carved over 200 spoons with this knife. And this is the original hook knife. Now this was like $40, I think, but this is only 12 bucks, and I got a few more. It's just because they're cheap and they're so good. But anyway, that's what I do to all the deal. So I'll cut the bowl, and then I'll use that to do all the detail carving. And then I'll sand it, and then I put mineral oil on them to seal them. So anyway, that's how I carve spoons. Anyway, I'm just going to whittle on the spoon a little bit and talk to you about getting into woodworking. Okay, and you know, again, like I say in all my videos, I don't know everything. I just like to share what I've learned and share my thoughts and opinions on different things. And so I just got a list of 10 things, and it's kind of like the scroll sign one too, because that's woodworking too. But I'm just talking about woodworking in general, doing any kind of woodworking. And these are just my 10 tips. Number 1, think about what kind of woodworking you want to do. Do you want to carve spoons, or do you want to be a cabinet maker? And it makes a difference which one you want to do, because if you want to just carve spoons, maybe that's all you want to do, and that's great. I love carving spoons because I can do it anywhere, and you don't need much. You just need some little pieces of wood, a detail knife, and a hook knife. That's really all you need. I have like a tool roll for my carving kit, and I have some other little knives in there, and I have sandpaper, mineral oil, I have a little saw in there, and I have gloves. I like to wear gloves just to be safer. And these are Kevlar, so there's like metal in them to keep your hands protected. And but that's all you really need to carve spoons. Okay, So, but what if maybe you want to make cabinets, wood cabinets, kitchen cabinets, or furniture type stuff? You need a few more tools. First of all, you need a bigger shop. Carving spoons, I can do this in my shop, or on my deck at home, on our deck, outside, or in my truck, anywhere. Cabinets, you need a shop setup, and you need a really nice table saw, miter saw, drill press, planers, sanders, all kinds of stuff. You're going to build cabinets. So it depends on what you want to do as far as getting started in it. If you want to start carving spoons or something smaller, or scroll sawing, just get a scroll saw and some small piece of wood, and you can start that too. That's pretty easy too. But if you're going to want to get into cabinets or other bigger things, then you need bigger tools. And so then you know what to work toward, whatever you want to get into. Or maybe you don't know, so just try some different things. Try some simple, cheaper things like carving spoons, scroll sawing, different things. And yeah, so think about what kind of woodworking you want to do. Number 2, do a little carving. See if I can carve here while I'm talking. I don't know, you can't see this, but and I got spoons on carving spoons, or I got spoons on carving spoons. I got videos on carving spoons. And that's what I do first. I carve out the bowl part. It's so relaxing, so enjoyable. I really enjoy scroll sawing, but I love spoon carving too, because you can do it anywhere, and it's relaxing and quiet. So I think scroll sawing is probably my favorite kind of woodworking when I'm home, and this is my favorite, when I can't scroll saw, on the road or wherever else. So number 2, start where you are, and what I mean by that is 3 different areas really. Start with what you have, start with the tools you have, and start with the time you have, and start with the experience you have. Maybe you don't have many tools. Maybe you don't have any tools. Maybe you can borrow some. Maybe you get some used ones, or just get something. I always say start with a scroll saw because that's my favorite, and they're not real expensive. But even if you want to just get a cordless drill, some hand tools, and just try to build some boxes or basic things, or just kind of see if you like woodworking, just get some basic tools. Or if maybe you have some in your garage that you've used for different things or whatever, start with the tools you have, and then you can get tools as you go. So I started scroll sawing in 1992, and my uncle and my grandpa got me into woodworking, and I really didn't do much woodworking before that. And they gave me a scroll saw. It was a really old one, kind of rickety, but it worked. I loved it. It wasn't the best in the world, but it got me into scroll sawing and woodworking. And so that was my first tool, really, because they gave me that. And then I think they gave me a small drill press. I got it, and eventually got it used miter saw. I didn't buy any shelves or workbenches. I just made them. I think my first workbench was a pallet that I brought home from work that was free. Put it on 2x4 legs, and I had a workbench. And then I would make workbenches and make shelves and stuff, and kind of set up a shop in our garage. And then just got hand tools here and there, and just picked up used. I never got anything real expensive, just got used things, and slowly built my shop. So start with what you have, and you can always get more later. And that's kind of better anyway, just to get a few things to see if you like it, rather than if you do have money and you want to spend money on a bunch of tools in a big shop. That's great, but maybe be sure you're going to like it first before you spend a lot of money and time on it. And then time. Maybe you don't have much time. We all work. We all have families, responsibilities, chores and projects to do, and all kinds of other things in our lives. And it's hard to make time for hobbies. And I think it's important for us to have a hobby, though. I mean, I am a devoted husband and father, and I love my family. I spend a lot of time with them. Whenever I'm not working, I'm with them. But it's nice to have a hobby, too. I never really had a hobby for many years, and then I got into woodworking. Now I have a few other hobbies, but so it's nice to have I think it's important for everybody to have a hobby, something to use your creative juices on, and just to enjoy, just something to do in life. Along with your family and your other responsibilities, it's nice to have a hobby. But a lot of times we might not have a lot of time to do a hobby, to start woodworking, even if it's 1 hour a week. For many years, I was lucky if I got an hour a week, and maybe sometimes not even that, because between work and family and responsibilities, I just didn't have time to go out in the shop. But anything is nice, and right now I don't get out in my shop that often. But when I get out there, I open the door and I smell the wood, and it's just kind of neat to just hang out in there, sit and have a cup of coffee and eat pistachios and look around the shop, or do some scroll sign and build something, or clean the shop. It's just nice whatever time I get. So even if you don't have much time, you can still start. Experience. Maybe you don't know anything about woodworking, or you don't know much. Well, I didn't know much either, and I just started, and I started scroll sign and practicing, and I got better and better, and now I carve signs and do spoons and build things and do a lot of other kinds of woodworking. And I'm still learning, and so yeah, that's what I'd say. Number 2, start where you are with as far as tools, time, and experience. Bird just walked by. Number 3. Oh, this is carving nice. I think this is No, I think this is mahogany. Carving really nice. Number 3. What are some tools to start out with? Well, like I say, start out with what you have. Maybe you already have a few tools. Maybe a cordless drill. I mean, you can get a corded drill too, but a cordless drill is so much nicer because you don't have to worry about the cord. And you can do a lot with a cordless drill and some drill bits and stuff. Maybe a circular saw, maybe a jigsaw, some hand tools, just to make some basic stuff. A miter saw is good to get because it's cheaper than a table saw, basically, and you can cut boards to length, and do miters and stuff. A table saw is nice because you can do a lot with it, and you can rip boards to width. You need a little bit more room for a table saw, and drill press and sanders. That's kind of in that order. I think is kind of good. Start with what you have, but just if you don't have anything, maybe get a screw gun first, cordless screw gun, and just some hand tools. And again, if you want to start spoon carving, get a hook knife and a detailed knife to start with. It depends on what you want to start with. But like I've said in the past, I think a scroll saw is a good one to start with, because brand new scroll saws they got cheap ones from $100, and all the way in the mid price is like $500. Real nice expensive scroll saws are like $1,200, $1,500. But you can get used, and that's one of my other points. That's my next point coming up. Actually, I'll talk about used. But you can get a used scroll saw for $25, $50, $100, and you can start scrolling. And scroll sign is a fun, creative form of woodworking. I have a ton of videos on scroll sign if you want to watch those. By the way, I have over 900 videos. I know people don't like to go back and watch older videos, but please do that. I'm getting close to 1,000, and it's crazy. So many woodworking videos, so many outdoor videos. If you're interested, go back and watch some of those. I'll keep making videos, but go watch my older ones. I watch them once in a while. It's kind of fun. I have so many of everything. And I have playlists. I have over 60 playlists of groupings of videos. So you can pick, if you like just one thing, just watch that. Just scroll sign, or just wood shop tours, or whatever. So yeah. But anyway, a scroll saw is a good one to start with too. But yeah, number 4, used tools are great. Okay. Let me finish this bowl here. Collect my thoughts. Good. Okay. So okay, so just little by little I went around and I basically got the bowl cut. And it's not very deep. And a bowl, it doesn't have to be deep. Metal spoons aren't deep. They don't have to be real deep. But I am going to go a little bit deeper. But I cut the perimeter of it, and then I get it deeper. Okay, number 4, used is great. If you have the money and you want to buy brand new tools, really good tools, expensive ones, that's fine. That's great. But you don't have to. There's a lot of good used stuff out there. You know, look on eBay. It's kind of old school, but Craigslist. What most people now. That was kind of a weird way to say that. But most people. I can't talk. I don't know English very good. I can't learn another language because I don't know my language very good. No, but Facebook Marketplace. That's what most people do. There's so many. I mean, right now I can go on there and there's probably scroll saws, table saws, miter saws within an hour of here, you know, for less than $100. You really can get good deals because you can get stuff that's slightly used but much cheaper. And sometimes something's really old. Well, you can get them really cheap, but they might be worth fixing up. I've done that before. I haven't bought. Well, I bought a lot of scroll saws because I've had a lot of scroll saws, and mostly cheap ones. I really only had one brand new one. That was a DeWalt, and but all the rest have been Deltas. Mostly, I like Delta and Craftsman, and I've had a lot of other ones too. But they've all been used, and I've gotten really good deals. And I taught scroll sawing in 2 different schools, and then I've taught it to kids in our churches and stuff, of the youth group and stuff. I just love doing that. I wish I could do that full time, but so I bought a lot of scroll saws. Right now I still have like 5 or 6, but yeah, so you can get really good deals used, and you know, you can fix them up, clean them up. Sometimes I'll get a scroll saw and I'll just I'll sand the top and put some wax on it, just clean it up, tune it up, you know, and that's great, you know. And you can do that with a lot of tools. I see a lot of used table saws. Table saws can be really expensive. And yeah, miter saws, scroll saws, sanders, drill presses, everything. And the thing is, what was I going to say? Just lost my train of thought. Yeah, there's just lots of great deals on used ones. And a lot of people don't, maybe, you know, they have a tool and they just don't use it, so they'll sell it pretty cheap. I mean, and they're greatly reduced. I mean, a $500 scroll saw you can get for $25-50. Yeah, it's a few years old and maybe a little rusty or a little dirty. Clean it up and it works great. So you can get really good deals on used tools. So that's an option. Okay, so I got the bowl done pretty good here. And now I'm going to work on the just shaping the rest of the spoon. And I do that with my more detailed knife. And you can't see it right now, but I'm kind of doing the back of the spoon first. Okay, number 5, location. Where are you going to do your woodworking? Okay, so if you're going to carve spoons, you can do it anywhere. I'm sitting in the driver's seat of my big truck, my work truck, and I'm carving spoons here, getting shavings on the floor. And I just sweep it out. Actually, I keep some of the shavings because they're really good tinder for starting fires. So see what I'm doing is I'm starting to shape the back of the bowl part. So if you're going to carve spoons, if you're going to start with that, you can do it anywhere. You know, you can sit outside and do it. You can sit on your deck and do it. You know, sit in the garage or whatever. Sit in the lawn chair out in the grass. You could probably do it in your living room. You know, just do it on a little tarp or paper, newspaper, or whatever on the floor, and then clean it up. Again, you just need a couple of tools to do spoon carving. If you're going to do bigger stuff, you know, let's say you're going to scroll saw, and you don't need much room. You know, if you have a spare bedroom, a spare room, or a deck, a mud room like we have, an enclosed room, a basement, or even outside and under a covered awning, in your garage, if you have a shed, or you can have a dedicated place for a shop. You know, just start small. A scroll saw you don't need. You just need like a, I don't know, 5x5 corner of a room, and set up a scroll saw, have a little bit of wood, maybe have a shop vac to vacuum up the dust. You know, you don't need a whole lot of room to get started in scroll sawing. Now, if you want to get bigger tools right away, if you want to have a miter saw and table saw, drill press, that kind of stuff, sanders and different things, then you want a space. You know, so again, maybe the basement, maybe a garage, a shed, or a dedicated building if you have one. Again, start with what you have where you have it. Yeah, so just start with what you have as far as a location for your shop, and you can always make it better later, you know. So yeah, number 6, shop setup. Okay, so I did the back of the spoon. It's pretty much done. I'm going to try to kind of finish this spoon in this video while I'm talking, because it doesn't take long to carve a spoon, and I, you know, don't rush through it. I just enjoy it. Okay, so they got the back of the spoon, the back part of the bowl part, pretty much cut. This is carving really nice. This is, yeah, this is some kind of mahogany. I think that might be African mahogany. So it's kind of hard and yet kind of soft. It really carves nice. So setting up your shop. So I have, for like miter saw, I have a long skinny table for my miter saw. And I learned that. I worked in a wood shop years ago, and I learned that years ago that it's nice to have that. Now, you can just have a miter saw on a table or a bench. You can have it on the ground, whatever. But if you have it on a dedicated workbench that's long and skinny, then you can take like a 1x6 or a 2x4, put it up on there, and it's 8-10 feet long. Well, you have the length of that table then, and you can cut it to length, and you can slide it. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. Incidentally, talking about shop setup, I have videos of my shop, my current shop, and my past shops actually. And you can watch my shop tour and you can see how I have it set up. And so yeah, and then my table saw I usually have in the middle of the room, because then you have room all around it. You might have sheets of plywood or bigger things, and you're going to rip and you're going to push through. So you need some room around it. That's what I've always done. You don't have to do it that way, but I've always had my table saw in the middle of the room with room around it. Now, my shop isn't real big. I mean, I'm so thankful for it. I built it myself. I bought the floor, and then I built the whole shop out of scrap, basically. It's not perfect, and it's kind of funny looking, but I love it. And it's a 10x24, but it's still not real big, but I got a lot of stuff in it. So I don't have a lot of room around my table saw, but it's still in the middle of the room. And it works good. I don't use it very often. It's old one. It's not real safe. It's kind of an old rickety one that's, yeah, the fences and everything isn't the best, but so I don't use it that much. But when I do, I basically use it on the left side of the blade, so I have that side open. But yeah, have your table saw in the middle of the room. I like to have my tools, the rest of the tools, on the sides of the room. You know, my scroll saw, my drill press, where I have my routers, different things like that, on the sides, so you can walk through the middle of your shop. I like to hang up, you know, everybody's different. You can have cabinets and drawers and stuff. I don't like cabinets and drawers because they have to stick out at least 12 inches, so that takes up some of the space in the shop. And then you have to open doors and open drawers to find stuff. I like everything to open, so I like to hang up all my tools and have all my hardware in open bins. And then have a rack for all the wood. This is kind of how I like to set up things. Have different kinds of lighting. Have a few different scrap bins, you know. Yeah, and I'm kind of weird, so I put 4 windows in my shop. And I like natural light. That's why, you know, we have our basement. I could have had my shop in the basement, but it's so dark down there. There's only a couple small windows, and I'm like, I like natural light. I'd rather have it outside, where the sun can shine in, and I just enjoy that. And also, I'll actually put my tools by the windows so I have the natural light. Like, so I always try to have my scroll saw. And we lived in different houses and rented places, and we've owned a few houses. And I always have a shop. I've been blessed to have a shop everywhere. It's small or big, but I always try to put my scroll saw in front of a window just so I can look out while I'm sitting there scroll sawing. I don't know, have the natural light of the sun. And then I have some cheap fluorescents. I'd like to replace them with LEDs, but I have fluorescents in there too. And then some other little lamps that you can move around and stuff. But I like and so I have my scroll saw by a window. I have my router table by the window. And then I have a chair that I sit in and drink coffee and eat pistachios and talk to you all. I have that by a window. So yeah, that's just kind of nice to have the natural light and have the windows. I just like that. You don't have to do that, but I like that. So again, I have videos on a shop tour. I have a few of them where you can see my whole shop and the way I have it set up. But yeah, that's just some ideas. So the thing is, when I'm carving a spoon, I just do all the detail carving, and sometimes I won't spend a lot of time on it, sometimes I will. And I carve, each spoon is totally unique. I might use even the same design or pattern, but I'm carving them by hand. I'm doing all the detail carving, so every one is different. They're all different. I have a couple of different shapes and sizes I like to do. I'm starting to do some bigger ones too. But yeah, just kind of whittle. It's just fun. Carving spoons is so fun. And I like making toggles, wood toggles for my backpacks for bushcraft and stuff. That's so fun. And just whittling on a stick. I started doing that last year, I think, for the first time in my life. Just whittling on a stick. Whatever pocket knife I have in my pocket, or my bushcraft knife or whatever, just whittle on a stick. It doesn't always have to be something. It's good to make things, but just whittle on a stick. Carving a stick is so fun. It's so enjoyable. I just love it. Anyway, yeah, so it's just kind of fun. So I'll get done, and which I'm almost there. This is almost where I want it. And sometimes I'll do more. Sometimes I won't do a lot of sanding, and I'll leave the roughness of it and the kind of facets and the different angles and the, you know, nicks from the blade, you know, from my knife and stuff. But most of the time I'll sand it. But yeah, it's getting close to being done. And the thing is, the sanding really makes it come to life, because you sand it all around and nice. And I always want to have the bowl part really smooth. But some of the rest of it, sometimes I'll leave not rough, but some of the different angles and facets that were from the knife. Anyway, okay, number 7, safety. Safety, like I said in the scroll sign one, same thing. Safety is so important in the shop. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes. Wear dust masks to protect your lungs, so we don't have to be inhaling a lot. And I don't wear mine as often as I should. I do most of my sanding outside, and I don't have to worry about it so much. But you know, wear a dust mask. Wear earplugs. You know, if you're running loud machinery, protect your ears. You know, use push sticks for like the table saw. Keep your fingers away from the blades. You know, use guards. That if you have guards on your tools, leave them on and keep them on. Just be really safe. You know how to use each tool and be careful. Take it slow. Don't rush. Don't be in the shop if you're really tired or crabby or mad. You know, I mean, sometimes it's good to go out in the shop and just let off steam and just relax or whatever. But just sit and read a woodworking magazine or something, or a book. Don't be using tools if you're frustrated or tired or whatever. Just be safe. Know how to use the tools, you know, and always be learning. And that was another one. I'm sure that's coming out, but yeah, just always be learning about your tools and be safe. And then with that, number 8, organization. Be organized. That's another way of being safe. I mean, keep everything picked up. You know, I'm just big on organization and being clean. Just having things organized. Have things put away. Have bins to put all your cut off wood in. Have all your small pieces organized, the big wood in one place. You know, have all your tools up and all your hardware up. And if there's tools like, you know, let's say push sticks, a miter gauge, different things that go with a table saw, have them by your table saw. Maybe even you have magnets on them and have them on the side of your table saw. And put tools, the accessories for your tools with the tools. And yeah, just, you know, keep the shop picked up, all those small pieces picked up, and have a couple. I have like 3 different. I'm not going to call it scrap bins because there is no scrap. Even the smallest piece of wood can be made into neat things. But all your cutoffs, I have like 3 cutoff bins and 2 garbage cans in my shop. It's not even that big. And keep the shop swept up, keep it clean so that, you know, and organized. It's clean and organized so that you don't trip over things and you know where things are. You can find things, and keeping it organized keeps it safe too, and it's more enjoyable. Number 9, never stop learning. Okay, so I really enjoy teaching, and but I really enjoy learning too, and I'm always learning. I'm just an amateur at all this stuff. I'm an amateur truck driver, really. I'm an amateur woodworker and bushcrafter and hiker and mandolin player and singer and all the things I do, all these hobbies and different things. I'm an amateur, really. I mean, even if I've been doing it for 20, 30 years, I'm still an amateur. I'm always learning. I'm always learning, and there's always more to learn. And I never want to stop learning. There's always more we can learn. Never get to where you know everything or you're a know-it-all. I know a couple know-it-alls, and they don't know it all. They think they do, but you know, none of us do. I mean, we all need to be keep on learning, keep on keeping on learning. Never stop learning. Always be learning and bettering your skills and learning more about the tools and the craft or whatever you're doing in life. Really, never stop learning. I might whittle on this a little bit more, but it's pretty much done. So you can kind of see the transformation. Now again, when this is sanded, it'll be all smooth and round and nice. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to sand it all nice and round and smooth. It'll be really nice. That'll be a nice spoon. Yeah, number 10, enjoy making sawdust. You know, don't let your hobby become your job. And sometimes that happens in life, and sometimes that can be a good thing. You know, end up starting a business from your hobby, and that's okay if you do that, as long as you still enjoy it. You know, if you started out doing it for fun, you know, try to keep having fun doing it, even if it becomes work or a job. You know, woodworking is kind of it's a pastime. It's a nostalgic pastime, and a lot of people don't do it anymore, and some people are getting into it as a new hobby these days. But it is so fun. It's so enjoyable, and the woodworking community is neat. You know, years ago they used to have forums. I don't know. I haven't been on any forums in a long time. I think they probably still have them. And you can talk to other woodworkers and learn different things. Now there's Facebook groups. That's probably the more modern thing. And of course, there's tons of YouTube channels you can watch to learn about woodworking and all the different things I'm talking about. Shop setup and buying tools and learning about using different things. So you can learn from each other. But it's just kind of neat to have a little shop. You walk out there and you can just smell the wood. And I like to go out in my shop. Sometimes I'm going to fix something, okay, that's broken in the house. Sometimes I'm going to build something. My wife wants a couple more plant hangers, so I'm going to do that when I get home. Make her a couple more plant hangers for in the living room, because she got a whole bunch of new plants. Sometimes it's making something new that I've never done before. Sometimes it's making more Jesus words or prayer crosses or a little reindeer. Different things I like to make, or carving a special sign for somebody, or making gifts. I don't make much to sell anymore unless somebody asks, but I make gifts and stuff, so that's kind of fun. But sometimes I'll just go out there and just sit, smell the wood, drink my coffee, eat pistachios. I'll make a video talking to you guys, or look at my woodworking books or magazines and learn more, or just kind of look around my shop. I got pictures around and different things. I have memories of my shop of working in there and stuff, and I don't know. I'll have the radio on. I almost always have music on. But yeah, it's just kind of a neat atmosphere, and you can use it to make wonderful gifts for people and things to sell. Just making something out of wood, there's just something wonderful about it. I just yeah, I always do this because then I'll screenshot one of these pictures and it'll be for the beginning of the video or the end, or anyway, yeah, enjoy making sawdust. Yeah, so yeah, if you're thinking about getting into woodworking, those are just my 10 quick tips. Yeah, about almost 40 minutes. Yeah, sorry y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, please leave your comments if you have other thoughts and ideas, or ways to get into woodworking, other things that's important to consider, and other tips. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share with others. Please subscribe to my channel if you like it, and watch my other videos. Again, I'm getting close to 1,000 videos, kind of crazy. I do have a playlist of woodworking, tons. There's I think a couple hundred in that playlist, and I'll link it to this video. If you look in the description, I'll have a link in there to my woodworking playlist. If you click on it, there's hundreds of videos on woodworking that I've done through the years, and I'll put my scroll saw list in there too. And well, I'll just put a few of my woodworking I have a whole bunch of different. I have a playlist on everything, on woodworking, on scroll sawing, on spoon carving, on sign carving, shop tours and stuff. And so yeah, just hanging out in the shop. I think I got a playlist of just sitting in the shop talking. Yeah, so it's kind of fun. So you can watch those if you want. And yeah, so people who I got some friends and family that send me pictures for the Yaka video. So once a month I do a video, if you don't know, and I call it Yaka, and it stands for Your Amazing Creative Artwork. And I started it, I don't know, last fall, and I like to show my work and things that I make, but you all are very talented and very creative, and you do some incredible work. And so I started doing once a month, I'll put a video together of your pictures. So you can send me your pictures through Facebook Messenger, or you can text them to me or whatever, and I'll put them in the video. And all I do is I put your first name and the state you're from, or country, and just wonderful things. And I don't have a lot this month, but enough to make a video. But if you send me something in the next couple hours, I'll get it into this month's video. And yeah, it can be woodworking, metalwork, painting, sewing, crafts, whatever. And yeah, so if anybody has any last minute pictures, send them to me. I'll finish the video tonight, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow morning to complete it, just in case there's any last minute pictures you want to send me of things that you have made, your amazing creative artwork. And yeah, so I'll be home tomorrow, and yeah, I'll be home till at least Friday or Saturday. I might take a load before the 4th of July, otherwise I won't get a check next week. So I might go out Friday or Saturday, or I might go out Sunday or Monday, or I might not go out till after the 4th. I'm not sure yet. Depends on what they have for loads. But yeah, I'm excited to get home, see my wife, and have time with her, and yeah, just have some enjoyable time at home. Anyway, yeah. So that's about it for this video. Just want to share with you my quick tips on woodworking, and there'll be more videos of quick tips. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not quite as long as the one I did yesterday, showing you my survival kits. Yeah, it was a little long, but I hope you like that too. I'm trying to have a variety of longer videos because a lot of you like the long ones, and some short ones too. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.